Finally, I've been trying to get that away for ages. As I was saying, hello everyone and welcome back to another video at Love Tech. Today we're talking about my favourite features in iOS 14 and why the whole new OS was a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's just roll the intro. So starting with one that didn't really deserve a place in the top 5, but I thought I should still mention it because it's actually a really useful feature and I think lots of you would use it quite a lot, especially those who are quite conscious on all the data that companies are collecting on us, especially Google and kind of Facebook and people like that. This is a feature where apps that use your location now have the option to only see a certain area in the place that you're in. So what do I mean? Well, if I'm in London and in a certain area, but if I don't want an app to see my exact location, then I can basically turn off precise location and it will kind of give the postcode, maybe the kind of in a 500 meter radius or something. And this is actually a really useful feature if you are someone who is very conscious, like my grandfather, of people following your location precisely and kind of collecting all this data on you and maybe selling it off to other places. Personally, I trust Apple, but it's actually the third-party apps that are maybe stealing your information, so it's probably them you want to turn this on for. So to turn on or off precise location, you go to settings, then select an app, whichever app you want to turn off the precise location for, and then location settings and toggle precise location on or off, depending on what you want. So moving on to number 5, we now have drop-down alerts, like phone calls, and a new Siri interface. This is especially useful if you are already using your phone when someone calls you. You can either flick it away just like a normal notification to dismiss it, or you can tap on it to bring up the full screen, like in iOS 13 when someone called you. Or finally, you can just pick it up straight from the screen, which is what I'm usually doing. So all in all, small but very big feature for me, and I find it quite useful, especially if you're doing something else already. Next is picture-in-picture. If you don't know what this is, it's basically something where if you're watching Netflix or if you're on FaceTime with someone, before when you click the home button and went on something else, you would get this little bar in the top, but now when you come off it, you'll actually get the picture-in-picture, which is basically the Netflix picture or the FaceTime picture in the big picture of the home screen. And I'll throw up something here so that you know what I'm talking about. And at first, picture-in-picture doesn't seem like a big feature, but after using it for about a month now, I've noticed that it's actually really useful, especially when using FaceTime. Because often when I'm talking to someone on FaceTime, and we're talking about something that maybe I saw on Instagram or something like that, then now I can actually go and I'll still see his or her picture on the screen, but I can actually reference the thing I'm talking about on my phone at the same time. And we've seen this on the iPad before as well, and it works great. So again, small feature, but you'll find yourself using it quite a lot. And taking the place of number 3 is the new search. So you can now search for much more detailed things, and you can actually hand write into the search, which I just find amazing that a computer can understand a human's handwriting, and you can search for things that you've handwritten in Notes or Notability, which are both handwriting apps, by the way. And just the fact that a computer can understand your handwriting is just amazing. You can also search for things on the internet, like, how old is Will Smith? And it will automatically come up with the answer there. Instead of just going, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer for that. Would you like me to search the web? No thank you, Siri. I will do it myself. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. So, all in all, the new search is pretty cool. And taking second place on the podium are the brand new widgets. Now, personally, I don't actually use the new widgets on my home screen. I find they take up too much space on my screen, and the usefulness of them does not tilt the scales. And I actually thought I would use them quite a lot when I saw them, and I got quite excited about them when they were released in the keynote. But after trying it out, straight away I just noticed things that I just didn't like about them. Now, what do I mean? Well, number 1 is the fact that you can't size your widgets the way you want. And what do I mean by this? Well, for each app, they actually have different size widgets, and for some apps it just doesn't make sense to have such a big widget. For battery, for instance, they'll take up the space of 4 apps in your home screen, which is quite a lot. It's a whole line, or they actually do it in a square. And all that will tell you is your battery percentage. And another thing I heard Tailosive Tech speak about is the fact that you can't interact with these widgets. And after hearing that, I actually noticed it quite a lot, and that just put me off even more, because before, with widgets, they weren't actually on the home screen, but you could swipe left, and then you could click on the widgets. So I heard him talking about the Tesla widget, for instance, and he could unlock his car and open his boot straight from the widget on the left. Well, now on the home screen, they've for some reason taken away the ability for app developers to make their widgets interactive. So all in all, I don't really like widgets, but I just thought I'd include it in number 2 because I know people really enjoy the new feature and they enjoy the look of the widgets on their home screen. Finally, the final feature is one that I'm actually really excited about, and that is App Library. Now, I find this unbelievably useful for multiple reasons, and the first one is to save time. With the iOS 14 update, I only keep one screen on my home screen, and instead of having all these dots on the bottom of the screen showing all my different home screens, I now just have one. And what happens when I need to use the app that's not on that screen? Well, for 90% of my usage on my phone, I actually use those apps on the main screen, like Instagram, WhatsApp, Messages, Phone, and many more. I keep all on that home screen. And for the 10% that I'm not using those apps, it's usually for things like calling an Uber or checking the times on the buses or something. And before, they would just take up space on my screen, but now they kind of have a space without having a space. And when I need them, which is quite rare, about once a month maybe, I can just swipe to the left and search for them in seconds. So I find App Library really useful, and I hope you do too. So please tell me down below in the comments what your thoughts are on iOS 14. I'd love to hear what your favourite features are and all those things, and I will reply to every single comment. So please just comment down below, very easy, and also helps out the video. So that is it for today's video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and all the things that YouTube has pestered you to do at the end of the video. And I will see you all in the next one. What are you still doing here? Come on, click on one of these videos. And I will see you in the next one.